Have you ever wondered what happens to a grudge when the person holding it finally dies? We like to think that hatred gets buried 6 feet under, along with the body. But some hatred is too heavy for the earth to swallow. Some hatred acts like a seed. It gets planted in the soil, and over time, it grows roots. Roots that twist and turn, reaching out not just for the sinners, but for their children and their children's children. We are all familiar with the legend of the Abaton Hotel, the stories of the clown mannequins that move when you aren't looking, the unexplained disappearances in the basement. But knowing the what and the where is very different from knowing the why. Why was the Carmichael family so consumed by darkness? What was the catalyst that turned a wealthy family into a vessel for pure evil? Tonight, we are going to open the final chapter of this cursed diary. It is a story that spans decades, a story of a tragic accident in 1989, a forbidden ritual, and a blood oath that demanded 100 souls. Turn off your lights, check the locks on your doors, and get comfortable, because we are about to enter the Carmichael Manor. Our story begins by taking us back in time. It is June 1989. We find ourselves at the imposing, stone-cold structure known as Carmichael Manor. The atmosphere inside the house is suffocating. It smells of lilies, old wood, and grief. In the center of the living room sits a closed casket. Inside lies Margaret Carmichael. She was young, vibrant, and she was taken too soon. A car accident, a hit and run that left her body broken on the side of a lonely road. The family is devastated, but amidst the weeping and the mourning, one person stands apart: her brother, Patrick Carmichael. Patrick was also in the car that night. He survived, though he didn't walk away unscathed. His body was fractured, but it was his mind that had truly shattered. If you looked into his eyes during the wake, you wouldn't see sorrow. You would see a void, a cold, calculating abyss. When the family priest asked Patrick to lead a prayer for his sister's soul, he refused. Patrick had no interest in praying to a God who let his sister die. He was a man of specific interests, dark interests. He was a member of a cult that believed death was not a wall, but a door that could be kicked open if you had the right key. That night, when the guests had left and the house fell silent, Patrick stood before his sister's coffin. He didn't say goodbye. Instead, he made a vow. He knew who had hit their car. It was a group of reckless teenagers who fled the scene to save their own skins. Patrick didn't just want justice, he wanted annihilation. He swore an oath to the shadows. He would not only bring Margaret back through a dark ritual, but he would also extract a heavy price. He cursed the drivers of that car. He vowed to claim the life of 100 of their descendants, 100 innocent lives to pay for the one they took. And just like that, the seed was planted. The horror didn't begin with a scream, but with a whisper in the dark. 4 years pass. The calendar turns to October 1993. We move to a county fair in Rockland. It is late, the kind of late where the air turns crisp
and the sounds of the night seem amplified. The rides have shut down. The neon lights have flickered out. The crowds have gone home. Except for one man. His name is Troy. He's stumbling through the empty fairgrounds, heavily intoxicated. He's a man trying to drink away a memory he can't escape. You see, Troy was the driver of that car in 1989. He was the one who killed Margaret. He thinks he got away with it. He thinks he's safe. As Troy weaves between the silent tents, trying to find his way to the parking lot, something catches his eye. In the distance, a single game booth flickers to life. The hum of the electricity buzzes like an angry insect. Drawn by the light, Troy stumbles closer. Inside the booth, sitting on a wooden stool, is a mannequin. It's a clown. It has a painted white face, black tear streaks running down its cheeks, and a polka dot suit. Its glass eyes seem to be staring right through him. But Troy isn't looking at the clown. He's looking at what's at the clown's feet. A stack of cash, a thick bundle of bills just sitting there, unguarded. Fueled by alcohol and greed, Troy doesn't stop to think why a game booth would be open at 3 a.m. He doesn't question the eerie silence. He just sees an opportunity. He steps into the booth, his hand reaching out for the money. Suddenly, slam! The shutters of the booth crash down behind him. He is trapped. Troy spins around, banging on the metal, screaming for help. But the fairground is empty. His voice echoes into nothingness. And then he feels it, a change in the air pressure. The feeling of eyes burning into the back of his neck. Slowly, terrified, Troy turns back around to face the mannequin. It has moved. Its head is tilted to the side. Its painted smile seems wider, more malicious. Troy backs away, his breath coming in short, panicked gasps. He fumbles for his lighter, flicking it on to push back the darkness. The flame illuminates the booth. The clown is closer. The flame flickers out. He strikes the lighter again. The clown is standing right in front of him. The flame dies. He strikes it one last time, and the last thing Troy sees is the pale, frozen face of the clown inches from his own. Troy was never seen again. The first debt had been collected. Let's fast forward to the present. We meet a woman named Vanessa. She survived the fire. She survived the massacre. Or at least, her body did. Her mind is a different story. Vanessa is broken. She attends therapy sessions trying to process the unexplainable things she saw. She is plagued by nightmares, not just of the hotel, but of a large manor house she has never visited. And always, the clowns. Her therapist tells her it's just PTSD, but then she mentions another patient, a man named Bobby. Bobby had been complaining of the exact same dreams, the manor, the clowns, the feeling of being hunted. Why does this matter? Because Bobby is Troy's son, the son of the man who vanished in the fairground 30 years ago. The curse has skipped a generation, and now it has come to collect. One evening, Bobby returns to his empty apartment. He is tired, on edge. He walks into his bedroom and freezes. Sitting on his bedside table is an object that does not belong. A simple, red rubber ball. To you or me, it's a toy. But to those marked by the Carmichael curse, the red ball is a calling card. It is a message that says, "You are next." Bobby feels the blood drain from his face. He pulls out his phone. He needs to record this. He needs proof that he isn't crazy. Through the shaky lens of his camera, we see the fear in his eyes. He points the phone toward the dark hallway outside his door. "Is anyone there?" he calls out. Silence. And then, from the shadows of the living room, a figure emerges. It's tall. It's wearing a black and white suit.
It stands completely still. Bobby drops the phone. The camera lands face down, the screen goes black, but it keeps recording audio. We hear the sound of heavy, dragging footsteps approaching. We hear Bobby's breath hitch in his throat. And then, a sound that no human should ever make. Bobby is gone. The bloodline of the driver has been thinned once more. Bobby's death brings a new player into the game, a woman named Alicia. She was Bobby's friend, an investigator who refuses to believe this was a random accident. Alicia tracks down Vanessa. She comes bearing a box of old evidence, photos, and a theory that sounds insane, but is the only thing that fits. She shows Vanessa a photo from 1989, the scene of the crash. She explains the connection. Every person who has died in the Hell House franchise, Winston, Melissa, and now Bobby, they all have one thing in common. Their parents were the teenagers in that car. Patrick Carmichael's curse is real. He is systematically hunting down the family trees of those who killed his sister. It is a supernatural vendetta. But this revelation confuses Vanessa. She looks at Alicia and asks the obvious question. If this curse is only for the descendants of the driver, why am I having these nightmares? My parents weren't in that car. I have nothing to do with this. It's a question that hangs in the air, unanswered. Meanwhile, the terror escalates. Vanessa's ex-husband, Tom Haskins, is found dead in his office. His neck was snapped with impossible force. It turns out, even he was a distant relative of one of the passengers. The curse is thorough. It misses no one. Desperate to stop the killing, Alicia decides to go to the source, the Carmichael Manor. It has been abandoned for years, sitting in the woods like a rotting tooth. She recruits a skeptic priest named Father David to perform an exorcism on the property. They believe if they can cleanse the house, they can break the curse. They drive out to the estate. As they step through the front doors, the temperature drops. The house feels alive. As they explore the dusty hallways, reality begins to bend. Alicia sees figures in the corners of her eyes. She sees ghosts of two girls, Margot and Rebecca, who went missing there years prior. They are trapped in a time loop, reliving their final, terrifying moments over and over again. They reach the main living room, and there it is. The casket of Margaret Carmichael. It looks exactly as it did in 1989, pristine, untouched. Father David begins his ritual. He holds up his cross, reciting verses of protection. He commands the evil to leave. But the house doesn't listen. It laughs. The lid of the casket begins to rattle.
Slowly, with a sound of grinding wood, it slides open, and she rises, Margaret Carmichael. But this is not the girl who died in the crash. This is a vessel of pure malice. Her face is decayed, her skin gray, wearing a tattered wedding dress. The demonic force is too strong. Margaret floats toward the priest. Father David freezes, his faith crumbling in the face of this tangible nightmare. In a blink, it's over. The entity tears into him. There is no holy light to save him. Alicia screams and runs. She sprints through the dark corridors, but the house has changed. The doors lead to nowhere. The hallways stretch out endlessly, and around every corner, the clown mannequins are waiting. Alicia is cornered, and the screen fades to black. While this massacre is happening at the manor, Vanessa is meeting with a friend named Max. He's a bartender who has been helping her through her trauma. They meet at the ruins of the Abaddon Hotel. But Max looks different. He looks defeated. He is crying, shaking uncontrollably. In his hand, he holds a red ball. "My father was in that car too, Vanessa. It's my turn," he whispers. Max knows there is no running. He knows what happens when the clown comes. He decides to take the only way out. He pulls out a gun, and right there, in front of a horrified Vanessa, he ends his own life to escape the torture that awaits him. Vanessa is left alone in the dark, hysterical. She clutches the box of evidence Alicia left behind. She digs through the papers, looking for anything, any reason why she is still alive while everyone else is dead. And then she finds a letter, a handwritten note that changes everything. Vanessa was never being haunted because she was a victim. She reads the truth about her mother. Her mother wasn't in the car crash. Her mother was a member of the Carmichael cult. Vanessa was conceived and born during a ritual held at the Abaddon Hotel. She isn't a target. She's a Carmichael. The dark figure she sees in her dreams, the ones she thought were trying to kill her, they were never attacking her. They were protecting her. They were calling her home. The final scene shows Vanessa standing in front of a mirror. The fear is gone from her face. Her expression shifts. Her eyes turn cold, empty, and sharp. It is the same look Patrick Carmichael had all those years ago. The curse didn't end. It just found its new heir. So, that is the tragic saga of the Carmichael bloodline, a story of a grudge so powerful it defied death itself. It makes you wonder, do we ever really know our own family history? Or are there secrets buried in our blood, waiting for the right moment to wake up? And if you happen to see a red ball roll across your floor tonight, don't bother running. It's already too late.